Hey guys, hello America. My name is Will Moore and I'm a photographer. And I get in my car and travel throughout the country looking for that next great shot. So come on.
And welcome everybody back again to Somewhere in America with me, your host Will Moore. And guys, I'm so glad you're here and you've joined me again once. Yeah, you've joined me once again, should I say? Let me slow it down. Well, guys, the last episode, I talked to you. We talked about the joy of the fisheye lens. And this image that you're seeing right here is was taken with a fisheye lens. This particular structure is somewhere in America. It is an art museum. You just have to look it up. But I really enjoyed. I took this image a long time ago, and I thought this would be a good time to do this particular episode and lesson as I'm continue. Pretty much, I guess we're continuing in with fisheye lenses. I love how the sky was that day. It was really neat. I was doing a lot of HDR then, and I still do a little bit now just to get, a multiple blending or multiple exposure. But I have that's my underexposed, my metered, and my overexposed. And I've really enjoyed. I had a really good time that this particular day. I was just all over the place. However, what I want to do today is that I like the clouds. I want to strengthen the clouds. I want to create some type of long exposure because I didn't do a long exposure then. At the time, I really didn't know much about long exposures. I was just pretty much starting. But I want to create a long exposure with these clouds. And I got a new technique that I learned from another photographer on YouTube's. I mean, on the YouTube universe, Jimmy McIntyre. So I'm gonna, if you be patient with me, I'm gonna try to work through it. And when I get to that part of the lesson, then that's when everything should take off. Okay. So you know my flow. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to take care of the white balance. So and I don't like that. So I'm going to warm this up just a little bit because it was a pretty warm day. All right, I'm going to add a little bit of magenta, just a little bit, and exposure just a little bit. I'm going to bring down the highlights. I'm going to bring up the shadows. I'm going to hold down the Alt key again until I see some pixels with the whites. And do back off, and I'm going to go into the blacks until I see some pixels. And that is looking really nice, perfect. Let me see what I shot this on. I shot this at 1/400th of a second, f11. So I should have got, and I was on a tripod, so I should have got more of a long exposure, but I didn't. It was 1/400th of a second. So I was bracketing. My ISO was 100. So, okay. Well, anyway, I'm going to add a little bit of clarity, just a little bit of clarity, a little bit of vibrance, and a little bit of saturation. Let's take a little vibrance out. Okay. Let me go on down to this is a really sharp image. Let me see. Yeah, it's pretty sharp. It's a pretty sharp image. So let me go ahead and add some more sharpening to it. Let's go 50. And I'm going to hold down masking. Hold down Alt key and go with masking. And everything that is silhouette should be sharpened. Now, I'm not going to go all the way because I don't want the sky blackened, okay? Which that would probably help out. If I did that, would probably help out when it comes to what we're going to do in Photoshop. But I want to keep this because I want to create that long exposure. So that's pretty sharp right there. Okay, yep, that's a pretty sharp image. All right, let's go ahead and go on down. Enable profile correction. Remove chromatic aberration. Let's see what auto does. Um, nope, don't want auto. Don't want level. Vertical. Look at that. Wow. That gave us more. Look at the depth of the sky right there. Wow, that is cool. That's kind of cool. Well, let's go ahead and let me see if we do that and then we constrain crop. Nope. We don't want to do that. Okay, so let's go back to let's do auto. No, let's do off. Okay, let's keep it there. Alrighty. And I'm gonna come down to, and this is landscape. Alrighty. And I'm going to Control A for all these. I'm going to sync. Check everything. Synchronize. And I've synchronized all my images on my overexpose. I'm going to go ahead and bring that down just a little bit. Alrighty, just a little bit. And on darks, I'm going to bring that up just a little bit, right about there. Okay. Alright, and while that's all selected, I'm going to go into editing, edit, in. I'm going to merge this to HDR, primarily because there's some other things I want to pull out of it, and then I'm going to go ahead and deal with the long exposure. So while I'm merging this HDR, I'm going to go ahead and pause. Okay guys, we've merged our images to HDR Pro. Alright, you know my flow here too as well. We're going to go to photorealistic. Okay, I'm going to remove any ghosting because there were some images of people in the background. We're going to do edge smoothness. Do the radius up to about 981. The strength I'm going to bring down to like about 30. About 30. Okay. Let's bring the radius down a little bit. All right. The gamma definitely is going to come down. Okay, because I'm not going for an HDR look. It's a little too bright. Let's go back up again. Exposure. Let's bring the exposure down just go back up just a little bit. Let's keep that at 0. Okay, on the exposure. Details, I'm going to take the details up to about 100, 108. Look at that. See how the clouds just really came out. I'll deal with this yellowness and because it was a lot of sun out that day. Shadows, a little bit on the shadows. Vibrance, we'll leave that. That's a little bit on that. Curves adjustment, we'll go into highlights. Let's bring those down just a little bit. Well, let's go up a little bit on them. All right there. And on the blacks. All right, great. That's starting to look real good. I'm going to hit OK on that. And while that's creating a file, I'll go ahead and pause. All right, guys, we are back now in Photoshop, and I want to go ahead and mess with the yellow a little bit. This gold cast on there. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to go in and grab a curves adjustment, actually no, I'm not going to do that yet. I'm not going to do curves yet. I'm going to go and grab hue and saturation. All right, going to up here to this level. I'm going to the yellows, and I'm going to take the yellow out of there. I don't like so much yellow. There we go. I'm not a big yellow fan. All right, let's go ahead and merge that together. Okay, now we're in Photoshop, and this is where you and I are both going to learn. All right, first thing I want to do is that I'm going to duplicate this layer. Then I'm going to go up to, I believe, layer, smart object. I'm going to convert that to a smart object. Okay, and there is a great tutorial that Aaron Nace has on YouTube about smart objects. You guys really need to look at it. I'll go ahead and promote it next time. Okay, now that I've duplicated it as a smart object, okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to let me see. I'll go to mode, no, not mode, layer, smart object converted already, stack mode, and then I want to go to mean. Okay, now right there, well, it did a little bit of something. Didn't do too much, but anyway, we're in stack mode, and that did mean. Now what I want to do is I'm going to go to filter. I'm going to go to blur. Oh, but what? Sorry. Before I do that, first thing I want to do is I want to rasterize the layer so that I can apply the effect to it. Okay. So I rasterize the layer. And now I'm going to go to blur, and I'm going to go to radial. Make sure that it is on zoom, and up to about maybe 40, what 40, 42. I'm going to hit that, and watch what it's going to do. It's going to go ahead and it's going to blow all this out. All right, see, now I went ahead and I've blown that out right there. All right, and created a pretty much uh, what I'm trying to create is a long exposure, but I'm going to go back because I don't want it that much. All right, so let's go ahead and let's do it again. Let's go to blur, let's radial blur, and let's take it down a little bit. We don't want to go that much, just a little bit. And now we should have exactly what we need. All right, great. See, now that's the long exposure that I want to get. Now we got to take care of all this. So what I want to do is that I'm going to go ahead and create a mask and make sure that our foreground is black. I'm going to take a brush, hit B for brush, and it's going to be a large brush. And I'm going to go ahead and all this areas, make sure that the flow is at 100. And all these areas right here, I'm going to go ahead and start bringing all this back. Alrighty. Okay, and we're bringing all this back. Okay, wow, that is great. Okay, all right, that's looking good, guys. That's looking really, really sharp right there. Now, I could do some more things to this, all right? But what I want to do is that I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and flatten this, all right, at this image as it is. I'm going to go ahead and take it back over to Lightroom because I'm going to convert this into a black and white, and I'm going to do some dramatic effects on this. Okay, so while I'm going back and closing, going back to Lightroom, I'm going to pause. Okay, guys, I'm back in Lightroom and we have our image here. Now let's go ahead and let's start boogieing. I'm going to go down and change it to black and white, and as you can see, I can mess with all the sliders here, these sliders right here, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to come up here and I'm going to do a little double processing. So I'm going to bring down the highlights. I'm going to bring up the shadows a little bit. I'm going to hold down the Alt key and go to the right until I see some pixels. I'm going to go until I get some blacks. Alrighty. And I'm going to go ahead and just brighten it up just a little bit and add a little contrast. Now it looks really blown out over here. That's because a lot of the blue is there, and if we go back to the color version, you'll see that right there. So, but I'm gonna go ahead and do something. You know what? I think I'm gonna do something that I've never done before. I'm actually gonna go backwards. Something I learned when I was in art school is that value is what makes color color. So I'm gonna actually work backwards, and I'm gonna try to bring this back in color. So let's see what happens when I do that. Okay, I'm gonna go into exposure. I'm gonna go with some blacks. Let's go with the blacks first. I'm gonna go ahead and bring some blacks, and I'm gonna grab another brush, and I'm going to just paint whites in just random places where you think light might hit. Okay. Alrighty. And let's grab another brush. And you work with a lot of brushes whenever you're doing this black and white dramatic effect here. Let's go ahead and do this. Alrighty. Let's grab another brush. Alrighty. And I'm going to go ahead and bring area right here. Grab another brush. Alrighty. And grab another brush. Just a lot of just little areas right here. Okay. Now, I'm going to grab an ND filter. And I'm going to go ahead and hold down Shift. And I'm going to bring that straight down like about there. Go ahead and see, now all of a sudden you see how all of that energy just came back right there. Look at that. I'm going to bring that down right about there. Bring that down some more. Look at that. Look at all that energy right there. And if I go into the darks just a little bit more, wow, look at what I've just created. That is looking gorgeous. All right. And these buildings are a little sharp, dark here, so I'm going to just open up the shadows just a little bit. There we go. That is looking gorgeous. Wow. I love it. I love it. I love it. Love it. Let's grab another ND filter. And let's bring that over here. And let's bring in some darks there. Just a little bit. Let's push that up. There we go. Look at that. Wow. Wow. That is looking so hot. I love it. I love it, guys. Grab another ND filter. And I'll bring that one here. And I'm going to do the same thing. Just a little darkness. And I'm opening up the shadows in that building. That is looking so cool. I'm so glad I went back and did this. Now, at this point, let me see what will happen if I click over in color. Okay, look, see how dark it is. See how rich these blues are. How the blues have gotten really rich. How the mood of the piece. But I like it in black and white. So let's go ahead and keep it in black and white. I'm gonna do some post-crop vignetting. Let's do this. I always like to do that just in case. And let's do some post-crop vignetting. In fact, you know what? Let's do this. Let's grab a radial filter. And let's bring all the center of the building. So let me see. Let's do this. And let me hold Alt. Go up. And let's bring that down right about there. Right about here. Let's take off the invert. Let's bring a little vignetting on the sides, just like that. Oh wow, that's looking really nice. And see that light that's coming in right there? Let me grab another radial filter. And I'm gonna do this. Bring that right there. I'm gonna brighten that up just a little bit. And I'm gonna duplicate it. Slide that over. Duplicate it. Slide that over. And hit done. And I like what I'm seeing right there. That is so nice. And then I'm gonna grab another brush, and I'm gonna go into the dark areas. And create that mood. Well, let's grab another brush. Let's grab another brush. We're working with brushes today, guys. Working with brushes. And I'm gonna do this. Look at that. And bring that back just a little bit. And the reason why I paint with the brushes like that, because what you want to do is you want to create variations of different shades of grays. And that's primarily what it is. And now I'm going to go right here and just a little bit of the just a little bit, and I'm going to slide that back. Okay, guys, I like what I'm seeing. Let's do some straightening here. All right, and let's bring this in just about right there, so it'll be even on each side. We want to make this a symmetrical piece. Let's bring this up just about right there. And more panel. There we go. And guys, I really like that. I really enjoyed this lesson. I'm so thankful to Jimmy because of how he showed how to do a fake but great long exposure with the sky and how to mask. I thought this was really cool. I learned a lot. I'm sorry. I hope you learned a lot. I really had a good time. Guys, thanks for joining me for this episode of Somewhere in America. Again, this is Will Moore. Don't forget to leave your comments, or good or bad, whatever, things you might want to challenge me on, things you might want to do differently. Um, Check us out here at my website. Everything you can find all the information at the end of this podcast. Remember, God bless you guys. I hope all is well. Keep everything well. Be good to one another. Remember, if you can't say nothing good, then just stick a shoe in your mouth and keep it moving. God bless. Bye bye.